I know it's been a while. I apologize, but we have got to talk about this Janisong by Spyderco. You guys remember I did a video about it a few weeks ago, so we're going to take a good close look at it because I've fallen in love with this, even though I purchased it by mistake. So turn this around and take a look at this thing from above. All right, guys, this is the Spyderco Janisong. Now, this is a very, very unique knife. This incorporates a lot of features from different knives. Now, technically, this is not the first release of this knife, and it's not the second release of the knife. Spyderco tried to release this knife a few years ago, and they ran into problems because it fell under the switchblade gravity law, or gravity knife law, and the balisong laws, and they could not import it from Taiwan. Now, things have changed over the years, and this is the exact same knife that they tried to bring out a while back, made in Taiwan, but they were able to release it this time. Now, with all transparency, I bought this knife with my own money. It was an unintentional purchase. We'll get into that a little bit later. But what you've got here is a very, very unique knife. It has the stylings and look of an OTF. Even looks like it with the button there. But what it technically is more in line with a balisong, but with features that you would see in the old school cold steel triple actions. It's more akin to an enclosed folder. So what you've got is something that functions a lot like a balisong, but only one pivot. So there's only one pivot as opposed to one for each handle. And what that allows that is the bite side of the blade is always pointed away from you. So you have this internal handle. What happens is it rotates 360 degrees around that pivot, and then there's a stop pin that stops the blade at a certain point. Now you can cut yourself with it, but you got to try really hard. So what that allows you to do is to do all the same things that you would expect to do with a balisong to a point with this, but still have something that is a lot safer. This is the most fun fidget spinner ever. So what I'm saying is it's really hard to do it on camera here. So I've got some footage here that you guys can see of me manipulating the knife. Now, I'm not the best with the balisong, but you will see it functions very, very similar to a balisong. But when you look at the knife, it does not look like a balisong. It looks much more akin to a covert style OTF knife with those trappings. Really, really cool coffin style handle. The blade on this is done in S30V with a beautiful flat grind on it. Like, the grind on it is gorgeous. And it is a kind of a smaller, almost dagger, faux dagger style blade. It's got this nice narrow area here. It gives it a very aesthetic look, but it is still a functional knife. I've been carrying this a lot because it is a lot of fun. I carry this at work because guess what? I'm allowed to carry knives at work. It does have a very, very secure lock. When this is open, and I'm not trying to flip it like you saw on this video because there's just not enough room behind a tripod. This thing is locked up like a vault. There is no play in this. Now, I saw somebody did a video about this. I think it was Edged Mindset, and he had some problems with blade play. There is a very, very positive lock on this. So the lock mechanism is back here in the spine. You can see it's carried a lot because it's got a lot of dirt and stuff in it. I could have cleaned it up a little bit, huh, Mike? So the lock mechanism is actually pretty cool. You can see that there is a post right there. It is attached to this, and it simply locks into that inner handle in that groove. And so when it closes, you pull it back forward, and you can see it here. It slides into that groove, and it locks it in place. No fears at all. It's a very, very solid lock. It's kind of difficult to do it one-handed. It's way easier to use both hands. This is 100% ambidextrous. You know, Spyderco provides you with all of this all the time. All of these 4-point positions for your pocket clip, and the pocket clip on it, I absolutely love. It's a nice deep carry pocket clip. Spyderco's pocket clips are always comfortable. This is a pocket clip I would not mind seeing on more of their knives, like my Military 2. I would like to see this particular pocket clip, deep carry style, on my Military 2. That would be great if they got rid of that big hole in the back. Now, the really cool thing about this is the safety factor, like I was saying. So you can see if I'm flipping this like a balisong, right? The bite side of that blade is always pointing away from me. It's pretty much for the majority of the time enclosed in that. As long as you're holding this properly, you should see zero issues with being able to cut yourself. Like I said, you can cut yourself with it, but you've got to try. Like, it is not easy. Really good construction on this. The G10 on this, at first I thought this was going to be just destructive on pockets, and it's not. The weight on it, it is a little bit heavy, but the inner handle has been lightened a lot, and you can say they did weight reduction in the actual liners for the primary handle. Like I said, the lock on it's great. I love the blade shape. It is very, very sharp. It does cut well, and it's got a really, really cool look to it. Now, by no stretch of the imagination, it's a perfect knife. Oh, let's do some size comparisons first, so you guys can see, because I've got big hands, so you guys can see before we go to the negative stuff. And I got a couple really cool, other cool things to talk about this knife before we go to that. So let's do some quick size comparisons. Sorry, I forgot. Your first knife is the Spyderco PM2. And when I say I would like to see, this is another knife I would like to see this pocket clip on. I think you could get a lot deeper carry on this. That would be great, but they have this big stupid hole back here that prevents that. This would be a perfect pocket clip for this knife. Your next knife for size comparison is the Benchmade 940, and we're only doing two. This is probably the best known knife in the knife industry. We're only doing two because, well, my Sebenza is apart for maintenance and I haven't put it back together yet, and I don't want to bother to do it. So you can see, size comparison wise, not that much bigger this way, like in pocket, than the 940, but it is a good bit longer. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Okay, final couple cool things about this knife. This has been designed uniquely. So you can see you have jimping standing up here with this knife open. However, they incorporated enough of a gap in this so that when this is closed, all of the jimping is inside. There is no proud jimping. So you can see here, flush. When it's open, the inner jimping stands proud, so you can get purchase on, and it's not bad jimping. Even though it's not very high, it is not bad jimping, and it just looks cool. That is just one of the coolest little things that got thought out. The full flat grind on this does come up all the way through the signature Spidey hole on this, and you've got a beautiful grind on that blade. And for as thick as this is, it's not a real broad blade to transition down. It still is very, very sharp and cuts well. And then the shape of the handle, just incredibly, incredibly comfortable. So some really cool things. Now, there are some negatives. There are some negatives on this knife, just with any knife. This one has a few that might be more than other knives. So let's turn this around, do flip side of the story, flip side of the knife. Okay. First and foremost, I understand why, but it does have a wonky blade to handle ratio. And the reason behind that, and it's not out of alignment with what it kind of looks like in OTF. They sometimes have a wonky blade to handle ratio. It's because you lose all of this space. You lose all of this space because the inner handle has to be able to enclose the blade. And so you lose all of that. Basically, you lose everything there. So you wind up losing almost about a ½ inch of blade length, I would say. The blade to handle ratio could have been better. Next thing, when you get it, the pocket clip is on the, now this is just something that's easy to fix. I'm just going to tell you now, if you're right-handed, you're going to want to flip the pocket clip. So when it's in your pocket, when your knife comes out of pocket, right, you always want to have that pocket clip there so it just comes out of pocket so you don't have to rotate. So if you watch this, the weird action on this is counterintuitive. The spine is typically the part that's going to come out. On this, for the safety feature, it comes out the opposite direction, which means that the way it ships, the pocket clip is on this side. If you get it, you can't figure out why you can't do it. So what I did was I flipped the pocket clip, right? So now it comes out, and then when you're holding knife, counterintuitive pocket clips can be out. Now, I will say that gives it a much different feel. It's actually really comfortable that way. Next thing, so the lock is really, really stiff, and I think it's stiffer than it needs to be. I tried lubricating it and things like that. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you lubricate this inside here to try and lubricate the lock, these handles will want to stick. Your lubrication will form a vacuum, unless you're using like a dry film or something like that. It will form a vacuum up against the inner, and it doesn't manipulate the right way. So you got to be careful how you lubricate it. Next thing is the blade itself. While it is a very, very attractive blade, mine came with a pretty bad grind. Like that side is nice and consistent, but typical of Spyderco, the other side is not. You can see there's a broad spot here, and then it comes down, and the tip is slightly asymmetrical. It's not horrible on this one, but you can see how this comes down and then broadens out. And then this just does not have an actual like sharpening notch or anything on that. So you're gonna have issues with how broad that is, because it's just kind of misground right there in the middle. And then the last thing, when this thing is, I don't know what the actual liners are made out of, but you can see I'm already starting to get a little oxidation. I cleaned it up a little bit, but I'm starting to get a little oxidation on the liners for the primary handle. And then last thing, when it's closed, there's some rattle. This moves around a lot. It rattles around inside there. When it's open, it's completely locked. That may bother you. And then the last thing is, it's just not, it sells itself as a fast deployment, like self-defense knife, and it really isn't. This is more of a gimmick. It's not something that I would want to try and trust to carry as a self-defense knife. I want something that is much more simple in its deployment, such as my military 2. When you start adding flourishes and fanciness to a knife for self-defense, you now have more time spent manipulating it, more time for your opponent to knock that weapon out of your hand and use it against you as a Yarwa stick. But other than that, I absolutely love this thing. It is a ton of fun. If you want to pick one up, I know that I put the subtitle down there that there's a link in the description, but I will have an affiliate link where you can pick one of these up. Blade HQ has them on sale at the moment. So guys, there you go. That's it on this one. Sorry it's been so long between videos. I'll explain that in its own independent video. And a little bit right after this. So let's turn this around. Some final thoughts and send you out about your day. Sometimes there are just happy little accidents. This thing is a lot of fun. It's not a bad knife at all. If I had bought it on purpose, I would feel a lot better about it. But I will say, I'm really, really surprised by how much I like this and how much fun it can be. And the fact is, it's still a pretty useful knife, even for the little negative things. I don't think it is a perfect knife by any long stretch, but you guys know how that goes. I'm sorry it has been so long since the last video. You guys got one today as I'm filming. I found a video that I had not put up yet. I will try to find some more videos, but in all likelihood, there is going to be a period of time where the channel goes dark. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I applied for a promotion at the new job and things like that, just to keep you guys in the loop. So if you want to support the channel, for me to be able to do things like this, because I'm not getting a lot of stuff in, check out the affiliate links down below. You can go to my membership down below. You can support the channel that way. You can join my Discord, which is actually not a Discord. It is a gilded server, things like that. I do have a Cash app. It is $sharp crazy, because I couldn't use crazy sharp. Somebody already has it. Guys, that's pretty much it on this one. I'm not going to do a whole big, long, drawn out thing. But yeah, use my Amazon store for all your purchases. Join the membership if you want. Guys, that's it on this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. And I will see you in the next video, which I'm going to film right after this to try and keep up with some content.